start today with a verse that's just a reminder. Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. All of us. It doesn't say some. It doesn't say those that aren't Christians. It says all of us. We all have. I've never met a person that hasn't had a sin. I sin daily. Am I proud of it? No. Not at all. And I try really hard not to sin, but I'm human. And it's okay to be human. When I met Mom, I thought, this is the most godly woman I've ever met in my life. And I never thought that I would be good enough for her son. I'm 7 years older than Josh. And I've been divorced. I have 3 children that are older. And I just never felt like I would be good enough. But not one time did she ever make me feel that way. Not once. She'd see me, she'd hug my neck. You know, I had no idea what she was thinking, because I was thinking, Lord, this one's probably thinking, what is my son doing? You know? I'm going to share a little bit about my past. Not because I want you to feel sorry for me, because I don't. I don't want sympathy. I want each one of you to realize that no matter how far you get away from God, you can always come back. It will take you back. He will. And no questions asked. I grew up really quickly. My mom was a single mom by the time I was 8 with 3 children. Men were in and out of our lives. She was married and divorced 4 times before I was 10 years old. My dad was in and out of the picture. He tried to be a good dad, but he was young and, you know, he lived his own life and it wasn't close to us. So most of the time it was just my mama and me and my brother and sister. Well, as years went by, I noticed I was more of the mom, and she was not at home, or she was at work. She did work. She always worked. But she was also in the drug world. And for a long time, I didn't realize that. I just thought, well, she has to work, so I have to help take care of everything. So I did laundry, I did cooking, I did everything that a mom does, only I did it for my brother and sister. People were in and out of the house at all times, day and night. People, some of them were scary, some of them looked just like you and me. You know, I just never knew who was coming in and out. I can remember very vividly, there was a time when there was a lot of traffic coming in and out, a lot, and it was scaring me. And I guess I was probably 12 at this time. So my brother would have been 4 and my sister would have been 8. I took them in my room and closed my door and barricaded it with my dresser. And I slept sitting on the bed, sitting on the floor with my head against the bed, because it was a twin-size bed and I wanted both of them to be able to have the bed to sleep. And then I would get up in the mornings and I would move everything out of the way before they woke up, and I would help them get ready for school, and everything went on that way for quite some time. There was times when she'd be gone for days. You know, there was one time I remember 3 days she was gone. And I kept thinking, this is not the way it's supposed to be. By that time, I was almost 14. And I went to her best friend and I said, something's got to give. I don't get to be a kid. I'm taking care of kids all the time. I don't get to run around with my friends. You know, that's selfish, but I was 14. You know, I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to have everything that all the other teenagers had. And I didn't get that because I went straight home after school and I cooked dinner and I did homework and did laundry and whatever else needed to be done. And I would do it all over again for her. I mean, she was always a good mama, even in her absenteeism, you know. So So by that time I was exhausted, and I told her best friend, I said, I've got to have some help. And she said, do you know what you're asking? And I said, yes, I do. I know she'll have to go to jail. So indirectly, I got my mom arrested, and she spent some time in jail, and we ended up with the local Baptist preacher. The family is amazing. Brother Bill passed away a few years ago, but he had a huge impact on our life. His wife welcomed me in, welcomed us in, just like part of her kids. Her kids welcomed us in like sisters and brothers. And it was probably the most stable time I can remember during my teen months. They wrapped us in love. We went to church on Sundays. We did everything just like every other kid got to do. And so I kept thinking, if I get baptized and if I walk with the Lord, then He'll keep us, and we'll get to grow up and have everything right, because it hadn't been so far. So I was baptized. I'm very thankful that Brother Bill was the one that did get to baptize me, but unfortunately I did it for the wrong reasons. I truly, even at the age of 14, didn't realize what I was getting myself into. So the summer went on, went my freshman year through high school, and then the summer after my freshman year, my mama came back into the picture, and we moved. Because she said, the only way I'm going to be able to stay clean is to get away from here, because everyone knows my past. Which is true. It's a very small town, and everybody gossiped, everybody liked to talk about it, and I was Joyce Ann's daughter, and I was going to be just like her. Wrong. So, we moved out of town, and it was a very difficult time. I was 15, almost 16. Started school while we were living in a hotel because we had nowhere to go. We shortly thereafter got a trailer house that I wouldn't put my dogs to live in because there wasn't enough left of the trailer house to actually be a home. I can remember having oil lamps for lighting, and the wind would blow so hard through the trailer, even with the windows and the doors closed, that it would blow the lights out. We had no electricity. We did receive food stamps, and that's how we bought our groceries. We had an ice chest that we stored them in, and God forgive me, but we stole ice from the local also to keep our food cold. In the wintertime, we slept between mattresses to stay warm because there was no electricity. But during that 9 months of my life, I rebuilt part of the relationship that I lost with my mama. And I strongly built more relationship with my brother and sister. Right at the end of my sophomore year, we moved again. I had gone to school in the same place my whole life, kindergarten through my freshman year. And then I had to move twice in 2 years. Talk about scared. So we moved to my grandmother's house, which wasn't a whole lot better than some of the conditions we lived in before, but I still felt like this was our chance to start over. The town we moved to was full of drug addicts, very well known for drugs, very well known for drug addicts. So me, being the big, tough 16-year-old, says, okay, Mom, we can do this, but, and she looked at me and said, yes. And I said, I will leave if there's any drugs. I will leave. And she said, yeah, okay. She promised there wouldn't be any. Did I believe her? I wanted to, but it was very difficult. So, it's coming on the beginning of my junior year, and I came home from school and I walk in, and there's 2 known drug addicts sitting in the middle of my little brother's bed, using. I went straight to my room, packed my things, and about the time I was about to walk out the door, Mama walked in. I wasn't quite 17 yet, and she said, just what do you think you're doing? And I said, I'm gone. I'm out of here. And of course, she immediately became upset and angry and started screaming and hollering because that's why we dealt with things throughout my life. And she said, I don't understand why you're doing this to me. And I said, I don't understand why you're doing this to me. I told you what would happen. They're in there on my little brother's bed, and I'm not going to tolerate it. And I walked out, and she yelled out the door, you'll be back. And I turned back around and I said, the hell I will. And I got in my car and I left. Talk about tough. I didn't even know what to do at that point. I was dating at that time who would be my future husband, and his mother allowed me to stay with him a few days until I found a place to live. By this time we were living in the town that my daddy lived in, and he begged me to live with him. You know, you could come and go as you please, I'll leave a section off the house for you, whatever it takes. And I said, no, I'm done. I'm done. It's my time now. So I got an apartment, put myself through my junior and senior year of high school, working part-time and going to school full-time because I was on the academic program. I didn't get to leave at noon like all the other teenagers that were on the work program, but I finished. And then I graduated in 1990, number 8 in my class. I was 36, which I was very, very proud of. And I didn't just tell people I graduated. I'm like, I graduated 8th out of 36, and I did it all by myself. I was really proud of that. And years later, my mom did tell me how proud she was that I managed to do that by myself. In 1991, I got married. I was 19 years old. And at the time, I thought it was what I was supposed to do. I loved him, loved him, loved him. I was head over heels. He went off to college. I followed him. And I just knew he was the one and we were going to be together forever. Shortly after we got married, well, 10 months after we got married, I got pregnant. And was not expected. We were both still in college. So I dropped out of college and he continued with college because I was going to have to be out anyway with the baby. So he got to finish right after John was born. And then I was big pregnant with John. And the phone rang. And I'll never forget it. My granny said, Michelle, I need to tell you something. Are you sitting down? So I sat down, and here I am, this big ginormous belly poking out, and she says, your mama has cancer. And I just remember thinking, why? Why now? Why now is this happening to her? She's finally got her life together. You know, she finally got her crap together. That's what I said. She's finally got her crap together. And now this? What is God thinking? What is he doing to us? I was so upset and so shocked. The only thing I could do is run a cup of water and set in it. I don't know why, but that's what I did. And then I begged. I started begging. And I've been away from God for a long time, from the time I was 14. And I just started begging. You can't take her from me now. We finally are building our relationship. I'm having her grandbaby. Please don't take her from me. And I'm just begging him and begging. She took her very last treatment on the day that my son was born. So she missed his birth and showed up shortly after. Her checkup said they got it all. That she was great, going to do awesome. A little over a year later, we went back for her checkup and she was teed up. Immediately, I started begging again. And I was mad this time. And I said, why are you doing this to us? I don't understand. understand why you make her well and then you're going to take her away from me. I don't understand. I hate it. And I turned my back on God once again. And I watched her slowly deteriorate. And as she got worse, I thought, well, it can't hurt. So I started begging God again. Please don't take her from us. Please heal her. You know, the doctors had said there's nothing else we can do. And yet I'm still going, please, you've got to heal her for me. Well, I went by one day, and she was dozing off, and I leaned down and kissed her on the cheek. And when I did, I startled her, and she didn't recognize me. And she just threw her arm up, and it hit me across my body. Well, she's a little bit bigger than me, and way stronger than I am. And it kind of, I had to recoil a little bit. And of course, she immediately recognized me after that. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, baby girl, come here, come here. I left that day in tears and went straight to her best friend's house and cried on her shoulder. And then I went to my house and I stood in my yard and I screamed at God and told him, you're going to let her die anyway? Take her. Just take her now and quit doing this to us. Just get her out of here. The next day, April the 25th, 1994, she took her last breath. Talk about mad. I was so angry. Not at her for leaving me. I later went through that phase. But at the time, I was mad at God. And I hated him for doing that to me. He took away my closest friend, my mom, and my son's grandma. At that time, I pretty much started withdrawing from my family that reminded me of her. I stayed away from my grandmother's house because that's where she was when she died. And just kind of pulled myself away from everyone. My husband got a job in Oklahoma, in Altus. So we packed up and we moved to Oklahoma, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a chance to start over. Things are going to get great now. Yeah, not so much. We did find a little Christian church there in town, very small congregation, wonderful pastor and wife, amazing people, and they just took us right in just like we'd always been there. And of course, at this time, I'm thinking, well, you know, I mean, he's already hurt me the worst he can do. So he can't hurt me anymore. My mom is gone. So we joined and we became the youth leaders. I became the choir director. I led music on Sunday mornings and we put together cantatas and just had a great time. But as I look back now, I think I was, like Mom said, going through the motions. I was doing what was expected as I was in that role. But I wasn't truly living it. I didn't crack open the Bible. I didn't pray like I should. I was mad. I was mad at God. Then we had our second son, beautiful brown-eyed boy, and he was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, and he was blue. At the time, I didn't know, and I was so grateful that I didn't, because I probably would have lost it. But they had him breathing in seconds. So, all children are miracles, don't get me wrong, but he's my miracle child because he wasn't breathing. So, my little brother moved in with us. He was still underage. He had been living with my grandmother and he decided he wanted to come live with us. He had been with me his whole life. So, he moved in with us and I thought, man, I have the perfect family. You know, I have a husband who works hard. I have 2 sons. I have my brother who's like a son. And I kept thinking, this is what normal life is all about. This is going to be great now. Well, the following year, I got pregnant again. And we were so excited, and we were about 16 weeks, and I lost the baby. Even though I never got to hold this child, I never got to know anything about him or her or them, it was a part of me, and that was my child, and that I had to go through a whole grieving process. Only 2 years after I lost my mom. And so I started withdrawing even more. There were days I didn't get out of bed. My husband was like, you got your boy, you got help, you know. And then about a year later, got a phone call, and my daddy's house had burned to the ground with coming in. So I had 3 deaths in 4 years. Total devastation. At that point, I was like, God, why don't you just take me too? I'm done here. You know, I never thought, okay, I'm going to get rid of myself. For one, I didn't have enough nerve to do that. but I begged him to take me. I was like, just take me too. I don't want to live here with all this hurt. Well, a few months later, we moved back to my home area, not to my hometown, but within the area. And I was still really angry at God, and I was searching for something, and I didn't know what it was I was searching for. And years later, my husband told me, I always felt like there was something missing in your life. I always felt like you were searching for something. And at the time, I was like, yeah, whatever, you know. I went back to school, and I did get my college degree. We adopted a little girl, so I finally did get my little girl, who's 17 and this tall now. And still, I felt like something was missing. And I'm going, why is something missing? I have the perfect family, you know, and something is still missing. So we started trying out churches in the area. Well, in the area we lived in, there was 4 Baptist churches. We went to each one, and there was one Church of Christ. Being the non-prejudiced person I am, I'm like, well, let's just try them all. We'll just go to every one of them. So we did, and I always found it an excuse not to go back. You know, but these people, you know, they're snoopy, or these people, you know, I was judging the people that were willing to help, but I wasn't willing to let them. Still, I felt like something was missing. And I went back to school and got my master's degree. Because I thought, well, if I'm more educated, then I'll get a better job, I'll have more money, and things will be so much better, and life will be wonderful finally. Yeah, not so much. I did finish. I did get a good job. We were making money. But I was not who I needed to be. And I was depressed and withdrawn. And in 2005, I looked up and finally opened my eyes and found my almost 15-year marriage in shambles. And knew that there was no way to fix it. And we separated and divorced. We kept it as amicable as we could because we had 3 young children. And I moved away because we lived in his hometown. So I moved away and for the first time, I didn't have a house full of kids because the boys had just changed school, and we sat them down and we explained to them that Daddy and Mommy aren't going to be together anymore. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to move to go to another school? Well, they wanted to stay, and we didn't want to separate any of the 3 kids, and so they stayed. Hardest thing I ever did was pack my stuff and leave my baby stuff behind. But I did it. And I moved up on my own, and for 2 months I rarely got out of bed. I hated myself, I hated life, I hated God, I blamed Him for everything. God, why didn't you fix my marriage? Why did you make it worse? Everything I blamed on somebody else besides me. And you know whose fault it was? Me. From 2005 to 2010, I did what I wanted to, which wasn't always good. I did a lot of drinking and partying and not being a good person, and I hurt a lot of people during that time. And the worst part is, at the time, I didn't even care. I didn't care that I was hurting people. Then I met my husband now. started out as friends. We co-coached Pee Wee basketball together. His nieces were on the team and my daughter. We spent lots of hours at practice and planning and games, and we became friends and never thought anything about it. Well, one day a friend of mine said, "Hey, this is that guy." And I thought, oh, excuse me? That's when I realized that, hey, hello, he's right in front of your eyes. But like I said, Mom was a minister, and sister was a minister, and I was never going to be good enough. But not one time did any of them ever treat me like that. They brought me right in like I was part of them. So not only did I fall in love with him, but I also fell in love with his family. And that's very important. I don't have in-laws anymore. I have in-loves. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's one thing that I really pray for my children, is that they have a relationship with their in-loves, just like I have with mine. When I first came into the family, even before Josh and I were married, Mom and Hannah were always going off on the weekends to go do their church thing. And they never pushed it on me. Not one time did they ever push it on me. But they said, if you'd ever like to go with us and see what we do, not, if you ever want to come with us and let me force Jesus down your throat, they said, if you ever want to come with me and see what I do, you're always more than welcome. Don't wait for us to ask, because we might not always do so. You come to us and say, hey, can I catch a ride? Or just show up. And so I started doing a little bit of that. And they started drawing me in a little bit more and a little bit more, but never forcefully. And I think sometimes people run from religion because it's shoved down their throat. You can't shove Jesus down someone's throat any more than you can force someone to love you. You have to build that relationship. And I would ask Mom questions. I would send her texts and I'd say, I was just on the highway and for some reason I felt like I was supposed to get off and take the access road. I get 5 miles down and there's a huge wreck. If I'd have been on the highway, I'd have been there in that wreck. And she said, God's talking to you and you're listening. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Well, I'm getting a little more disciplined, so now I hear it when he's talking to me. So, just like when Hannah asked me to speak at one of the church services, I looked at her and I went, what? I don't speak at church. And she said, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. She said, but Mom and I were talking about it and we feel like God is telling us that we're supposed to invite you. She said, just pray about it. So I said, okay, let me pray about it. Well, I half-heartedly prayed about it. And I God, do you really want me to do this? Am I really the person you want up there talking about you after all these years of hating you and blaming my whole horrible life on you? And God kept saying, I use everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter where you come from. Mom always said, doesn't matter where you've been, it matters where you're going. And she said, I know where you're going. And the two of them together made me realize it was okay, it was my turn. So I did. I went with Hannah to church that Sunday and I spoke and she said, okay, don't be scared if you can only talk for a few minutes, because most of the time when people get up front and they're giving their testimony the first time, they get real nervous and they get there real fast and then you still have a lot of time left over. Well, she's over there going, we're running out of time. Because it just hit and I'm like Becky, I have to have my notes in front of me. My notes went to the side and I was just like, oh, and people are going. But I knew I was finally right where I was supposed to be. I felt comfortable there. I told Hannah, I said I wasn't scared at all. I was filled with God, I guess, because I was shaking all over, but there's no fear. I knew I was supposed to tell them what I was supposed to tell them. I'm thankful God doesn't always make me share all my secrets. You know, he doesn't tell me you have to go out there and tell them every single thing you did in the bad parts of your life. And I'm thankful for that. Some of my secrets I don't want anybody to know. I'm not proud of them. I don't even want my children to know. I don't want Mom to know. I don't want Hannah to know. And they pray for me and with me all the time. But, you know, it's okay to have secrets. But there's a verse I want to share with you. Hebrews 8:12 says, "For I will forgive their wickedness and remember their sins no more." We all talk about forgive and forget. God doesn't say He forgives and forgets. That's not what that verse is saying. God says He forgives and then He purposely does not remember your sin. He doesn't remember it. He chooses to not remember it. So when people tell us forgive and forget, say, no, I'm going to forgive and choose not to remember. Because if you forget something, something's going to jar that memory back. It will. At some point, it's going to jar that memory back. When that happens to me, I say, God, I don't want this thought in my mind. Can you please give me a different thought? And that usually works really quick for me. Not for everyone, but I don't want to think bad thoughts. I don't want to think unhappy thoughts. I want to be a happy person. And happiness is a choice. You can get up in the morning and you go, oh my gosh, I have to go to work and I have to do this and I have to do that. So what? You have a job. You woke up, didn't you? Yeah. You have a car to drive? Yeah. Okay. Well, you have a job that pays your money so you can pay your bills so you can feed your children. Absolutely. So wake up happy. If you wake up and you're poody, say, God, help me. Give me something happy to think about. And you know what? He will. He will. And it doesn't matter how far you get away from Him, He's going to come find you eventually. He will. You're never too far. Never. Never too far gone from Him. I have one more verse. Psalms 103:12 says, He has removed our sins as far as the east is to the west. He removes them. You know who reminds us of them? Satan. Us. We remind ourselves of the sins we've done. God doesn't want us to. He says, choose to remember. Choose not to remember. That's what He tells us. He chooses not to remember. He wants us to not remember either. Learn from them, yes. Put them behind you and move on. I'd like y'all to join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, I ask that You show Yourself to every lady here today. For those who think they're too far gone from You, let my message be proof to them that there's no such thing. You have a place for each of us, and You love us, and You forgive us, and You choose not to remember those things we have asked You for forgiveness for. Thank You, Lord, for using me, a sinner, someone who never felt like I was